Hello, my name is Anna G. Aitken, and I am a student of EDUC 517, Current Issues in Education. I have chosen my topic as Balancing Mindsets, What Works, What Doesn't, and Transformational Leadership, Forget the Buy-in, Go for Ownership. Why did I choose these two topics? I believe both topics go hand in hand in order for us to tap into our full potential as Christian educators and leaders. Change or sustain. Learning is a lifelong process, and in learning or even at the workplace, there's always a complicated battle of two worlds. The first one is continuous improvements, and then sustainability of effective work. We cannot be stagnant. The water that sits there and not moving and nothing has been poured into it, it starts becoming stagnant and things grow and it gets murky and dirty. In any workplace, we need to have some things that need to continually be changed, rearranged, and there are things that needs to be kept because they're effectively working for us. In the picture, you will see in the bottom right, there's a worker that's like being pulled to the right and to the left. It's always a tug of war of what you're doing, what you're asked to do, what to change, what to add. It's always like a never-ending battle for a worker, including a leader. The leader also has to juggle different things of what to be improved in an institution or what needs to keep on going. And on the top left-hand side, I also have a child, and as educators and even leaders, each child also has this battle in their minds. They're dealing with two worlds or even multiple worlds between home life and their school life. And if only we need to understand that not only teachers and leaders are dealing with these, that even our own students, all the children that come into our classrooms or into our school, are also dealing with these things. And it will help us, I think, to have a better perspective and better actions and more purposeful to give what they need in their learning environment. Changing mindsets. On the left top corner, it says impossible, and then we have to change the impossible to something that is possible. It says here flexibility first. Relinquish control. Whether you're a leader or a teacher, you have to understand that you cannot control everything and you need to delegate to the right people. Willingness to admit you don't know. That is very difficult, especially if you're in the administration part of the institution, that it is frightening for people to think that you don't know everything or you don't have the answer for everything. But we have to realize that it is a lot more empowering when we are honest to our people, to ourselves, and also when you know that you don't know everything, it allows you to connect with the people that have specialties and also people that know more than you do that could help move forward with the mission and vision of the school. Self-discovery is very important, and problem solving with others. You cannot always run everything by yourself because you are only one and it's a limited kind of movement or action. Listen for the truth. What is behind this? You need to really stop and figure out prayerfully, and also hopefully you have people around you, the staff collaborating with you, and some advisors that could really help you understand what is the root problem or what is moving the progress, or what is stopping the progress. If we take the time, something will resound and help us see. We leaders are bombarded with different suggestions and different opinions, and sometimes you're not there at all when some things happen that you cannot make a very sound decision right away. So taking your time, pausing, helps you to see clearer and have enough information to be able to make a sound decision or action. Welcome positive critiques and feedbacks, even negative ones, because that will allow you to fully see everything and be able to manage things properly moving forward. Thank colleagues, friends, family for sharing their thoughts on changing or sustaining things. It is so nice to thank people and value their input, whether their input is a suggestion for steps to make or steps to move back, or maybe it's a person that they suggested for you to connect, or even their words that inspired you to have an aha moment or to think clearer and have more understanding on which path to take. It is so nice to be having a leader or even a teacher who thanks individuals for being a part of a positive movement. It makes the world move faster, better, and happier. Map progress, writing down the process or the progress, and circle back to the people and let them know how valuable they are, their input was, and move forward implementing the change. Sometimes we sit in committees that we're asked what we think, and we give suggestions and we say that's a good idea, but then weeks and months and it never resurfaces again, or nothing happens and no change happened. As educators and leaders, we need to be thinking things through that are at odds, and asking questions. First, are they actually conflicting in any way? Number 2, can they continue in conflict without causing undue stress or harm? It could be as simple as scheduling, programming, pairing of teachers, mentor teachers with the right new teacher, or even pairing of students in the classroom, and even pod members in different departments. These are things that need to be considered. And during education practices, finding the silver linings. It is important for team collaboration on lessons learned in the process, making positive shifts to deal with obstacles and problems, and we use failures to our advantage towards success. And a positive attitude as well is needed for a teacher or leader to make a difference. Enduring practices, adaptive learning practices, consistency of district learning management, alternatives to assessment and instruction, and we all experienced these during the pandemic. Rethinking structures and pacing. Can't be just, this is the schedule, we're gonna use this, even though it's not working for the students in our classroom this school year. Personalizing learning and providing voice and choice of students, having them take ownership of their learning process is very important, and increased cognitive empathy and emphasis on social emotional relationships. It is very important for our students and our staff to feel valued, respected, and also feel comfortable and confident in our classrooms or in our work facility. It's almost like eating at a feast, you know. It's a lot better no matter how delicious the menu is, right? If you are eating with people that you don't know and even not agree with, it is very difficult to enjoy that wonderful feast. It's the same thing in the classroom and even in the work environment. Tolerating workplace transitions. Call it like it is. No matter how difficult the shift is, you are tackling it as a staff. And look to transitions for opportunities. If it isn't broken, why fix it? Or even if it isn't broken, can we make it better? This needs a trusting relationship between the leader and the team. And building redundancies is also important. No one is indispensable. The truth is, what others can do when we are no longer around, that is our legacy. It's so some leaders say, well, it fell apart because I'm not there anymore. But the truth is, the best leaders and administrators and even educators is that when you move on, there's retention of the proper execution and deep understanding on what works and does not work. Transparency is very important to build redundancies. It is good for staff and leadership to have mutual respect and trust and clear understanding of the mission and vision of the school. And I read in one of the articles about stay interviews. And stay interviews are not being used a lot, but it is not an interview at the end, like the exit interviews we have for when somebody leaves or at the end of the school year. But this is an interview planned to ask valued employees that are asset to the school towards the school's progress. It's not about evaluating their work itself, but looking at the big picture, what works and what are their suggestions and what are the things that they see would be beneficial for the school and the staff. And also discovering valued staff's other talents and passion so that we could multiply the workforce that you have. So if somebody gets sick or have to move to another state, the gears are continually moving towards the goal for that school year. Finding success in troubled times. Larry Coy said, to find success in troubled times is to take ownership of the experiences that created you, who you are today. Excavate the significance of your own stories because no one knows them better than you do. Larry Coy was an undercover and counterintelligence FBI agent for 24 years and is now an author and toughness coach. You know, our lives are not happenstance. God has chosen us for a purpose. What we experience in life helps us to be stronger and equips us to be most effective in helping others and His mission while enjoying the gift of life and happiness that He has planned for us and He has given us. Troubled times, what should we do? When troubled times hit us, we can do one of two things: whimper like a victim or summon the mental toughness to become the person we were meant to be and meet the future head on. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We can't just settle to be victims and we start the blame game and making excuses, and we end up in a miserable loop Without God, we can go around with the great and most intelligent methods. We'll still be just chasing after the wind and be lost. We need God for guidance and have that mental toughness to become the person we were meant to be for His glory. Practical ways to success. Number 1, design a future that works for you. Who we are right now, who you want to be in the future. Jim Elliot said, "He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose." How to make it work for you. Take an honest look at yourself. How can you succeed? How can you fail? Honesty is the best policy, not only to others, but most of all to ourselves. It has to start from within. And here the picture says, knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is not putting a tomato in a fruit salad. Well, guess what? A tomato is a fruit, yes, and it has vitamins and minerals, but it doesn't always go with every dish. We are now going to know when to use the tomato or when not to add the tomato in a dish. Practical ways to success. Number 2, define what success means to you and how to make it work for you. Is there more room to reach your potential? What do you want from family and friends? Think about a career that provides value and meaning for you. How are you going to prepare yourself? And how are you going to educate yourself? We need to be honest with ourselves. Personal actions becomes purposeful with direction and not reacting to wherever the wind takes us. Sadly, in our personal lives, but also for teachers and leaders, proper placement is key. Practical ways to success. Number 3, harden up rather than wither like a wimp. We need to harden up because self-righteousness can be addictive if we let it control us. Self-righteousness is addictive. Misery loves company. And self-righteousness, misery, gossip, those are toxic for the workplace and for our mental, emotional, and physical health. Our productivity and our purpose get compromised when it is a toxic working environment. How to make it work for you. Lessen your social media intake, which thrives on sensationalized information and unedited for accuracy and validity. Less social media, less exposure to stereotypes that don't always represent reality, and engage in conversations with people that know more than you do. Practical ways success. Number 4, conquer events before they conquer you. It is easy to be rolled over by events that accompany troubled times. The fueling of defeat often leads to listlessness, hopelessness, and depression. Decreased serotonin in our brain, and it has a direct effect on how we view our world. How to make it work for you. Dare to be brave. Encourage the serotonin to increase by doing things that you love to do. Surround yourself with positive people and the people you love, and view troubled times as opportunities to grow. Can failure lead to spectacular success? Well, failure produces scrappiness, and things get disorganized. There's arguments and chaos and less productivity. How to make it work for you? Have a growth mindset. Problem solving with others, which grows brain capacity as well. Problems slightly too hard for you? Ask these questions. Be honest with yourself. Are you not smart enough to solve it? Have you not just solved it yet? Sometimes we need to ask other people who know more, but sometimes you are heading to the right direction. You haven't reached the end yet, but you're moving towards solving the problem. Can failure lead to spectacular success? Number two, failure teases out the scientist. Scientists are not afraid on being wrong on their way to being right. How to make it work for you? Look at each failure. The key is to understand how you can modify your approach so to have the ability to change the outcome. You do not need to always know the answer. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. Are you asking the right questions then? And are you surrounding yourself with some people that could really add to the need that you're dealing with? Can failure lead to spectacular success? Number three, failure demands reflection. In the FBI Academy, it says if you're succeeding, you're not pushing your limits. Part of the discovery lays in identifying whether the mistakes or failures are a product of our own weaknesses. I know, we need to always be honest with ourselves. How to make of it? How to make it work for you. Write down your mistakes or failures and connect the dots. Identify the mistakes that stands in the way of getting what you want, and don't go beyond the biggest three. You need to be honest and be practical and face reality. Stick with the biggest three. Can failure lead to spectacular success? Number four, failure generates a can-do attitude. Our reaction to failure is a test of our character. It doesn't matter what you've been given. What matters is what you do with it. And remember the parable of the talents in the Bible? Well, we need to use and improve our God-given talents to tap our full potential as Christian educators and leaders. How to make it work for you. Don't wait for the crisis to show up. The middle of a crisis is not the time to learn how to handle life's challenges and overcome failure. Train ahead of time so that when they do show up, you will have cultivated courage, confidence, and discipline. Transformational leadership. Learn the new language. Why the old language of transformational leadership no longer works. We need to ask these questions for the most important decisions to make. 1, are you solving a complicated problem? Number 2, are you solving a complex problem? Let's look into it. Complicated problem. Problem with one right answer and requires a certain expertise to solve. Examples: school finance, human resources, school calendar, school schedule, curriculum deployment. Complex problem. Problem with unknowable answers. There is not one answer. Examples: discrimination, bullying or harassment, performance issues, bad job fit or lack of training, gossiping employees, and unmotivated employees. Both of these types of problems need team collaboration with clear mission and vision in mind. Forget the buy-in and go for ownership. What is buy-in? The buy-in and engagement are transaction words. You have the answer and the others must support the answer. Ownership, going to the staff before any decisions are made with tremendous vulnerability, recognizing that there is more than one answer. Why shift to ownership? Because collectively we make better decisions. And when we collectively make better decisions, then workers are valued and resulting in a healthier working environment, resulting into productivity and success. Let's talk about transformational leaders. They query others at the start. not the middle or end of the decision or action. Invite questions or concerns using digital tool to crowdsource effectively. There is vulnerability, transparency, and accessibility. Transformational leaders do not talk about openness because that's a transactional method, but provide radical transparency and unprecedented levels of accessibility to the information and people, using networks, not hierarchy. Using teacher networks. Network of crowdsourced teachers provides a robust constellation of options. The leader makes a much more informed decision. To help our students thrive, leaders and teachers must learn this new language of ownership and know when to apply it and not just shove things without collaboration and team input. Network equals net worth. A leader needs to recognize the value of network, know when to cash out, when to cash in, do not put too much weight on others, and never ever take on too much weight alone. Respect Robin Dunbar's number. He is a British anthropologist, and he said 150 people connections at a given time for a person. You will have 5 loving relationships, 15 really close confidants, 50 friends, and as long as it's always 100 people, 150 people, we know well at one time. Some of you might agree, some of you might disagree. It depends on your position in the society, but most of us kind of have that even though we have so many hundreds of friends, you can't just always connect with them in the same quality of time because we are limited. Net worth of networks is a collective invests in them. It helps a leader to be more respectful and more grateful for their existence. A respectful and grateful leader is very powerful, and staff support and productivity gets maximized. You can have the skills and knowledge, but without proper connections, it will be difficult to get a job or even build a business, get greater things done, lead an institution better when you have the proper network. Ways to build a strong network. Focus on the right people, conduct state interviews, create win-win situations, equal gain, give before you receive, offer support and network, become a connector, effective connecting, introducing people that could benefit from each other, and you can build stronger rapport with multiple people. Remember to connect. Staying in contact keeps the bridge passable. And use social networks like LinkedIn and FB, Facebook, Instagram. Start your own networking group like using eventbrite.com, meetup.com, more connected and sought out if you are the creator of something that is progressive. Stay interviews are a bit new to some, and it's not work related. It's not for everyone. It is interviewing valued workers that are asset to the institution or school and asking them for their input regarding the vision and mission of the school and what are the things that they believe could change or sustain or even needs improvement even though it's working right now. Ownership starts happening and we keep the best workers and they become loyal and more productive while working for God in our facilities. I remember when I used to work at Kids Castle, the owner conducts like quarterly meetings with all the workers, especially the department heads, and quarterly we have a one-on-one time with the boss to tell them what's going on, what is not working, what is working, what are our future plans for the program, and then they ask how we can help, how can we do and make it happen, how can we help you. And that made a big difference in the whole facility, the program, and even the people, which then becomes more productive, and we have happier students and families. Sadly, we cannot keep teachers all the time, and there are some schools that even have so many exiting their school in the middle of the school year. 5 key issues why teachers quit. Pay matters, but money is not even the main reason why teachers leave. Teachers are 59% more stressed than pre-pandemic. Here are 5 key issues. Toxic environment, poor management, unreal expectations, professional input not taken seriously, staffing shortages, everybody's burnt out, lack of respect, and micromanaging of leaders. Classroom management becomes chaotic and difficult. Some tactics that are suggested: mental health days for workers, incorporating teacher input into new initiatives. Not like it's been years since you last talked about things that might be good and never really dealt with it. And you need to be, as a leader, you need to be transparent and explain and give immediate feedback, whether it will be helpful or something that might not be useful for the moment. Teacher mentorship programs also need to be dealt with properly. Keep mentors and mentees in close contact. Mentors should be impartial and guide from the side, not just dictate and shove things on the new teacher. Let new teachers choose their own goals. Let them have ownership in their journey as well, and make sure it is a good match. 6 ways to give intentional feedback. Feedback is variable and should not be one size fits all. Tailor discussions as excellent job, could do better, not up to par. Engage in dialogue and not monologue. Don't bombard teachers. Don't come huffing and puffing telling them they're doing something wrong or there's a big problem. Wait for the right time and talk to them when you are calm, collected, and have paced yourself and have more of a sound mind and purpose. Focus on input on student learning while respecting what teachers know about the student. That is very important. Make feedback quick when implementing a new initiative, and critique work, not people. I came across this article, Perfect Messages to Show Appreciation for Good Work, and I just want to share a few. For quality good work, or for quality work and effort, wouldn't it be nice for our boss to say this? Be proud of the fact that you have the power to rise above any situation and deliver the best results no matter the circumstances. Excellent work. To be honest, I don't know how you manage to do such a good job every single time. Very well done. You continue to exceed every expectation that we set. Great job. The way you handled the project showed resilience, experience, knowledge, and critical thinking. We would love to get your perspective on our next project. Perfect Messages number 2, for dedication and hard work. Never before have I seen an employee so dedicated, hardworking, and yet still tenacious at the same time. You're an inspiration to all of us. They say that the devil works hard. Everyone's wrong. You work harder. We're so proud of you. You manage to go above and beyond for every piece of job that you do. Great work. You haven't seen such quality work in a long time. I haven't seen such quality work in a long time. Great job. I am always left astounded at the level of dedication and hard work you put in every situation. May you reach every height of success. Perfect messages to show appreciation. Number 3, for being a team player. A person like you always stands behind the team in good, as well as the hard times. We couldn't have asked for a better team member than you. For helping us reach our targets every single time, we are fortunate to have you on our team. You are a pleasure to work with. Great job. As suggested, I took your advice and found it to be constructive. Thanks for helping me out when I am struggling to reach my targets. Our team members can always depend on your quality work and effort. Excellent work. Here's another one for creativity and outstanding work. The one creative I always love to watch is you. Your work is a joy to witness. Great job. I believe your work will bring joy to many people in the future. May your creativity shine bright in the days to come. We're fortunate to have an innovator and creative such as you in our midst. Congratulations for a job well done. I hope that you continue to embrace your creativity and utilize it in your work for as long as possible. You always manage to distinguish your work by having it done so well. Excellent work. When we do these things to our students, even to our workers, we value, appreciate, and empower them to continue making a positive impact in society. We also pour God's love and happiness as they continue growing and serving Him. A piece of advice: never skip a chance to say good job, for it helps to build a sense of confidence and a zeal to work harder, by Barasha Mehdi. It will be an amazing work environment when giants working with other giants with superpowers are involved in God's ministry. 5 qualities of transformational leaders. Creative. Everyone could be creative with practice. Interactive. Communication and involved with followers to move to know the needs and learned with guidance and practice. Visionary. Sense of purpose and articulates vision clearly and in a compelling way. You get better with practice, and we see that with Martin Luther King Jr. He started at home, at church, speaking, and then to multitudes of people and even around the world. Empowering, delegate, and support. Encourage and trust people around you, and also trust yourself. Passion, or passionate, committed even with repeated failure. And even Mother Teresa, inventors and scientists throughout history, has shown this. In conclusion, as a teacher or administrator, what is working right now that you believe is sustainable in your classroom or institution? How can it continue to improve, evolve in succeeding with continuous progress for the mission and vision of your class or institution? May God bless you all, and thank you for listening.